What's up, guys? Welcome to our video about how we're going to do a JV joint venture partner up with you. It's our partner program. Okay. So going over it, who are we? All right. Some of you guys might know who I am. Some of you guys might not. For you guys that do not know who I am, my name is Gino Palumba. I started this business at the end of 2018 when I was 19 years old. And last year we did over $3 million in gross profits, just wholesaling real estate. Don't flip homes. Don't necessarily buy storage units. Don't go buy big buildings. I really just focus on wholesaling real estate. Now, within that, yes, I've bought some rentals. Yes, I do some wholesales where we buy them and then quickly put them on the market, cleaning it out. But all in all, we're wholesaling real estate business. We got over 21 team members, and we'll go over a little bit exactly about our team. So Ferocity Assets is our entity. We help people solve problems fast. What do? Well, we create opportunities for our community by delivering tailored real estate solutions, right? That's our mantra. With 6 years of proven success and over 10 million wholesale fees done, we're committed to delivering excellence. So we have done over $10 million in wholesaling fees over the last 6 years combined. Where do we operate? So we are virtual team members, virtual company. We virtual wholesale. We got team members spanning 3 continents, all across the world, but we service specifically the Metro Atlanta, Dallas, and Raleigh-Durham areas. And here you can see a quick screenshot of some of our Georgia people, as it's hard to get people around other continents to come to the US of A. So why would you partner with us? You're saying, well, why am I even watching this video, right? Well, we have proven success. We demonstrated the ability to generate high ROI for our partners. We've done that through the ability to get them and to get their property on the multiple listing service. Our strategy allows us to pay more than any other wholesalers. We'll talk about our strategy a little bit here and how you can join with us and be able to start utilizing this strategy as well. Resources, you're going to get access right to our robust network. If you're in wholesaling university, you already have a network there. You get all my tools for free and my processes for seamless execution out. If you guys that don't know Wholesaling University is, it's a school program, SKOL, school program, and school. And it will show you exactly, we have a whole program in there. Hopefully I spelled school right. I feel like I didn't now. But we have a whole program in there that gives you exactly step A to Z on how we work this business. Now, also, we have transparency, open communications, and trust. We'll talk about that a little later on here, guys. But how can we pay more, right? Now, our value add to you guys is we're going to do this for you. But we have a different underwriting system. We do not underwrite, meaning we don't evaluate a property the same way a lot of wholesalers do, right? If you're familiar with the game and what people usually teach, it's ARV, which stands for after repair value, times 0.7. Because the 0.7 times 0.7 is, the investor wants a 30% return on their money. So you times it by 0.7 minus any repairs the investor had to do. And then you subtract your wholesale fee. Well, we don't do that. We use an MAO calculator that I've created to where we just calculate what do we think the home's worth as is, and we take away our fees. Now, again, we're going to handle that for you. But the bigger thing here and how we can make more doing all that, it allows us to pay more to the seller and make us more, right? So more for us and the seller. Why? Because again, our underwriting process doesn't use all those formulas and factors that I explained in the beginning one here, the ARV times 0.7 minus your repairs, minus your wholesale fee. Ours is very simple. Now, again, that's our value add to you is that we're looking to partner with you to where you bring consistent JV appointment flow. And what does that mean? Well, our goal is that you will create and generate appointments for our team, for our acquisitions team to lock it up for you. They're going to pitch it for you. And our dispo team will dispo it for you. And our TC team will clear the title for you. So you don't have to pay for any of those team members. You don't have to worry about any of those processes. All your job is finding leads that want to sell and setting up for appointments. Okay. And our goal is to have some partner people have shared visions, individuals, organizations aligned with our values and long-term goals, which is helping people solve problems, right? So if that sounds like a fit for you, keep listening here. So here's why we're beneficial again. Now, this is probably one of the most important ones on here. I'm trying to move my thing underneath so I can see you guys. But you're going to be able to make more money on your deals. You might be used to making a $15,000 wholesale deal, right? And if you have a team, our average deal size before doing this strategy was about 19 grand. Now it's 31,000 last year out of doing 90 plus deals. So if you have a team too, when you make 15 grand, you're not making 15 grand. Typically, when you're starting out or in the beginning stages of your business, even if you're getting 2 to 3 deals a month, you got to pay, if you hiring people, higher commissions. So for the example here, you save money by not having to pay an AM because our AMs will lock it up. Now, traditionally, when I first started, I paid my AM 20%, right? Because I wasn't making enough revenue for them to live their life. Meaning, when I first started out, when I was doing 30 grand a month, 10% what I pay my guys now 3 grand wouldn't pay for anything for that person. So I had to pay 20%. So that was $6,000, right? So that he would have actually, something to live on. Well, in this instance, I just gave an example. If you're paying your AMs 15%, so even less than probably what you are, and you're paying a lead manager 5%, and you're paying a dispo person 5%, in totality, and you have to pay a TC per deal. I don't even know what percentage, but you guys know your own. If you're doing a percentage or based on a number, but either way, that's 25%. The AM 15, the LM 5, and the dispo 5. So if you're really doing 15 grand deals, after spending 25%, I probably should have that math ready here, but 20% would be 3,000. So divided by 10, it would be like, it's like 4,250, right? $4,250, I believe. So $4,250, like you're only netting $10,000 after all that, right? You do minus the 15 grand your deal size. It's roughly 10,000 something. So you're making 10 grand a deal. Well, with our process, you're going to make just a little less than that without having to deal with training an AM, training an LM, training a dispo, TC, holding on to those roles, managing those roles, and having to deal with the people problem there, which is worth way more than $1,000 per deal savings that you're going to get doing this on your own. Now, again, might not be the best fit for some people here, but the thing is, our process, we manage everything from acquisitions to closing of the deal. As soon as you set the appointment for our team, we're going to go on the appointment, and our goal is obviously to close the deal. The thing here that's the most beneficial that I haven't really hit yet is we are going to share with you all the calls and all the documents after the closing happens. Not during it, but after. We will share everything. So eventually, after doing this 3, 4, maybe 5 times, you're going to want to do this on your own. And that's a huge value add here, right? You're going to learn this strategy on your own because you're going to listen to the calls, you're going to have the documents. And you're going to be able to do this on your own. You're going to be able to double your deal size. Now, again, I don't know what market you're in. Some markets, if you're in San Diego, California, you should be above our 30 grand deal size. You'd probably be 50. If you're in rural Missouri, yeah, you probably are going to go, you're probably at like a $5,000 to $10,000 deal size now, and you might go to 15 to 20, right? So obviously I'm talking here, just depends on what market you're in terms of the profit per deal. But the point is, you're going to get these documents and you're going to pretty much almost, I can guarantee it, depending on your market, be close to doubling your deal size once you learn this. Now, some of you guys might say, I don't even want to do that. We've had a bunch of people that partner with us and they say, look, I don't need to worry about an AM, dispo, TC. I could just do what I'm really good at and just find leads and set you guys up with qualified appointments. Okay. And it's very important that we're going to talk about qualified appointments on another video in our trainings, because that is going to be the big thing to help us out. Now, again, that's why we're beneficial to you guys. You're going to make just as much money, just a little less, but you're not going to have to worry about with all these people in AM, LM, Dispo, TC, and having to worry about training them, managing them, investing in them. And that obviously is a ongoing thing, right? So you're not going to have to do that with us, partnering with us. Sorry. Where do we operate? That's probably important for you guys to know. We operate in Georgia, Texas, and North Carolina. Now, we're willing to do JVs outside of that, because you might be like, well, I'm not even in those markets. Well, we're willing to do those, but they can't be in like South Carolina that ban wholesaling, Kentucky that's strict on wholesale. Now, if you do have Kentucky deals, let me know, because I do have a team member, our friends that do really well there. But we can't do a Chicago, right? Illinois, because of the wholesaling laws. So we really stick, Southeast. We can do Florida. But just let me know. Message me on Instagram. If you don't have my Instagram, it's my name, GINOPALOMBA, and we can talk about it there. Google Form. That's how we're going to use to collect your appointments. We'll go over it later on here. So how do we handle the process? First, we do initial consultation. Fill out the form at the end of this presentation. What my goal is that before we allow you to start sending leads in our system, we value our system and our acquisition team's time so much that you're going to have to pass a training, right? You're going to have to pass a training to understand what is a qualified appointment. We don't want people just sending stuff to send stuff, okay? And then once you pass that, you'll get a customized Google form that will know who's sending it. We'll know it's you sending the deal so you can get credit. All right. And then thirdly, if that's a word, but third here, we send you an update, an email, an auto email from our CRM of all your leads with the notes on them and their actions. So you know what's going on. So you know we're not just leaving your leads alone, or we know that, hey, this guy really wasn't motivated. He said, screw you. You guys, you know that. So one, you could maybe go after him now. You could target him too as a different company, right? Hit them in another way. Or you can see which ones are on the closing block, which one got closed, and all that good stuff. So try to be as transparent as possible. If there's ever a time where you feel like we're not, which I don't know how you would because we're going to give you everything, just let me know. We'll get you as much transparency as possible. The thing is I can't do is just you text me or you Instagram me, hey, how's this deal going? How's this lead going? How's this lead? Where's he at? Don't have time in the day for that. And really, that's why we have a weekly report that goes out that updates it for you. So this is the sheet. This is what you'll get once you, should double it up. Once you get your, once you pass the test or the assessment, it's not a real test. Don't let it stop you from doing this. It's going to be a couple questions, or it might just be a training with me that I do once a week that you have to go to and you get access to. Again, it's not going to be something that you don't just forget about the whole thing because you got to do an assessment or a call. But you'll get access to a Google Sheet that'll be similar to this, pretty self-explanatory. You're going to put the seller's name, phone number, property street, property city, property state, appointment date, time, times under this, property notes. We want to know certain notes about it, asking price and occupancy. Is it vacant? Is it tenant occupied? Whatever. Right? Self-explanatory. You would fill this out and submit it, and then it goes into our system like this. It goes immediately to our acquisition system. Nakeeb used to do a bunch with us. Excuse me. You'll go into our acquisition, our AM's huddle, our AM's Discord channel, and immediately AM's fight over it. As you can see here, this is in the same minute. Jorge goes, I want it. Yes. Immediately it gets sent, like I said, into our AM's Discord channel. They immediately respond. It's a first come, first serve who gets it. And as you can see here, the appointment time and date was on there. But just to show you guys, we want to get your deals locked up. We want to get you guys serviced and get your people treated the best way possible. So as soon as you send them, we're on it, okay? This is how it shows up in our system, like I mentioned already, and the boys fight over it. So what are the splits, you might be wondering? I kind of hinted at it. Well, if you bring us an appointment, just an appointment, you're not doing anything else. You're not closing the deal. You're just setting up an appointment for our acquisition team to close it. It's a 70-30 split. Average deal size from our company last calendar year, as you can see in the bottom, this is straight from our Salesforce, straight from our CRM, is $31,000. Just round it down to 30,000 here. For average deal size is 30. Again, it depends on your market. Again, if you're in rural Missouri, I'm not going to say we're going to get a 30K deal size. If you're in, a metro, any somewhat big metro, Atlanta, Dallas, like I've already mentioned, or, Charlotte, whatever it is, I'm pretty confident we can get you 30 over a time period. Of course, some deals might be 50. Some deals might be 15. So we're not guaranteeing anything here. But our average deal size, like I showed you guys here, is 30 grand. So if you get 30%, it's $9,000. Now, what does this break down here? Well, if you did a traditional JV, you would split 50-50. Now, when I say traditional, I mean like if you brought the contract to me, like you see at the bottom here, and we handle dispo, it's 50-50. Well, in this instance, if we split it up 50-50, you would have to pay, if you're on your own, you would have to pay your AM because you would have to lock up the deal. And you would have to pay your LM, so it'd been 20+%. And then more than likely, you would have to pay, some deal size or some marketing fees / also the TC. So roughly another 5%. Now, you wouldn't have to pay for dispo rep because we would have been dispoing in that case, right? I'm just showing a comparison here, guys, that if we did a normal JV, you might be saying, well, I don't want to lose 20% here. I'd rather do 50-50. Well, here's why it's not. It's because I got to pay an acquisition manager because they're locking the deal up for you. I got to pay a dispo manager. I got to pay a TC. I got to pay a project manager if I'm sending people out to get pictures. I got to pay all these people. And the point is, I'm bringing it back to is that if we split this in half like a traditional JV, after you paid all your people, you only made $11,000. So for the sake of this situation, and you probably wouldn't have done, if you did this deal on your own, you didn't even JV with me, you probably would have only had a 15K deal size, right? And point is that, if you take out that 25%, you're looking at here, that you're only going to be making 11,250. So when I said 10,000 earlier, I meant to say 11,000. So the extra $2,000 that you're that you're missing out on, you don't, because you save $2,000, or you only get $9,000 versus the 11, you lose on $2,000. But you don't have to worry about hiring an acquisition manager, firing acquisition managers when they're not performing, handling lead managers, handling firing them. You don't have to worry about dispo people and training and hiring and managing and all these people. And if you guys have done this business before, you know that it's not easy to find people, hire people, train them, manage them, and do all that. And are you willing to take $2,000? I would say starting out, for sure, if someone offered this to me, I would do it for sure if I didn't have the infrastructure. Now, of course, it's coming from me, a little biased, but here's the point there, guys. 730 split. Now, just to take a whole tangent, what I've been pitching this whole time, or been talking about this whole time, is us helping you get this properties on the MLS via our team closing the deal. Now, if you bring us a contract with that ability, right? You're on my wholesaling university. You've tried it numerous times. You've seen the scripts. You've done the stuff. We'll do a 50-50 split if we just handle dispo and TC. If you lock up a contract and the ability to list it on the market, then we'll just do a dispo and we'll handle dispo and TC for you. So a lot of people, they'll do 3 to 4 deals like this. Then they'll learn on their own how to close them. And then we'll actually close the deal via our dispo team and TC. All right, guys, so now that we know the profit splits, what are the appointment criteria? Here's one of the most important parts of this whole thing is we have a pretty, we want to make sure we have an appointment criteria so that we do not just have everyone sending every lead, right? We want people that are motivated to sell. They are the real seller, meaning it's their property. And you got to ask those sellers, is there anyone else that has input on the decision to sell? Remember, you don't ask, hey, is there any of the decision makers? Because the husband will say, no, my wife's not a decision maker. I'm a decision maker, right? They all think they're big and bad. That's why you got to ask, is there anyone else that has input, just input on the decision to sell? And when he says his wife, make sure when you guys are setting us up with the appointment that you have the wife on the call, or at least try to get her on the call. And they want to start the process of selling the next 30 days. That's very important. Remember to start the process. A lot of people ask, hey, do you want to sell in the next 30 days? And they might say no because they don't want to move out that quick. And that's why it's important to say you want to start the process, just the process of selling, not close your home, Mr. Seller, not sell it, but start the process of selling. And then back to motivation. It is truly, though, the number one most important thing. And what you guys will see on this next page here is going to be a thing that you can scan, a QR code. And it's going to be a video it's going to be a test that you're going to have 20 questions. We're not trying to make this harder. We're just trying to save you and us time, because what we don't want you to do is just send us a bunch of leads and nothing happens to them. We don't close them or anything because they weren't truly motivated or they didn't fit our criteria. And I don't want our team, when they already have, hundreds of leads a week coming to them, to be distracted by someone's leads that are just pushing stuff to push stuff, right? We don't want that. We want to make sure you guys are qualified. You understand our process of motivation. And it's truthfully not that hard. But the big thing, guys, I want to state to you is that if someone says, hey, I want to upgrade my house to take advantage of the market, that's the reason they want to sell. Well, that's not motivation. They want to take advantage of the market. They don't have a true reason. If someone says, I inherit a property and I live in, Texas, the property is in Georgia and I can't pay the taxes on it, that's obviously a lot of pain. Or, hey, I'm pre-foreclosure. That's obviously pain. They're about to get foreclosed on. Another one, hey, I had this property. I'm a landlord and it just keeps getting destroyed and I don't have the money to fix it up. Or even if it's just, I don't want to have to fix it up again. That's motivation. If they say, hey, I have this property that's vacant, but, I don't really need, to have it, I don't need anyone there. It's kind of my second home and I got storage stuff there. And the only reason I would sell is to take advantage of the market. Well, that's not motivation. Now, if you switch that and just say, hey, I have a vacant property that, not even go to the extent that I can't afford. They just say I have a vacant property that's sitting there. I'm trying to lease out. Well, that's motivation. They obviously aren't saying it yet, but all of it. But they have a vacant property sitting there. Now, again, versus the other one where the guy said,
I kind of keep my stuff there. It's my second home. I really don't, need to do anything. I'm just trying to take advantage of the market. That's not paying. So we don't want to set those people up for us, right? There's differences. Now, this next page here, guys, there'll be questions. And the goal for you guys is to get at least 85% of them right. And it's true or false. Is this person motivated? I think you guys will get it pretty quick. The point is, I just want to train you guys. One, for your team, you should know this as well, but also for our team. That way that you're not just sending stuff to send stuff. I appreciate it, guys. And I look forward to doing these deals with you guys. You got my Instagrams, everyone, right? You're going to get this form. As soon as you pass the test, we're going to then give you a Google web form to start sending us leads and sending us deals. And we look forward to partnering. I know it kind of seems like a little process here, but it's supposed to be a process. That's how it makes it more efficient for you and for us. That way we have some sort of cohesiveness to how we work the strategy, what we do, so you know how you're going to get emailed every week about your leads, and also what appointments criteria there is, right? All this is important so that we can make this as smooth as possible, because this is stuff in the past where I haven't done, and then it turns into a crapshoot because no one knows where their leads are, where they're at. They're sending leads to our system that are junk, and then we don't want to, then it's lagging down us, bogging our system down. So I want to make this as beneficial for both sides as possible. Look forward to teaming up. You guys got questions, let me know. Remember, if you're not in those states we're at, just text me, message me, and I'll let you know if we can do it there. All right, guys, appreciate it. All right, guys, so here you go. The final thing here. Here you go is the QR code. Scan it, take the test. As soon as you complete the test, we'll be notified, and then we'll reach out to you. And someone on my team will reach out to you or me, and they'll get you a Google Drive form set up to where you could start submitting leads ASAP.